The average EV owner trades in their vehicle after 3.5 years. But there are electric vehicles out there where owners are hitting 100,000 miles and still saying not a chance when dealers offer them trade-in deals. Some of these EVs have owner retention rates that embarrass luxury brands. Others, they're still on the road with original battery packs performing better than anyone expected. By the end of this list, you'll know which electric vehicles earn loyalty that goes way beyond just avoiding dealer markups, and why some owners would rather add miles than add a new car payment. 1. Tesla Model S, 2016 to 2019. Here's a test. Go to any Tesla owner forum and ask who's keeping their Model S past 200,000 miles. You'll get dozens of responses, half of them with receipts. The 2016 to 2019 Model S represents something that doesn't exist anymore in the Tesla lineup. Overbuilt quality before the company got obsessed with margins and production speed. These cars came with free lifetime supercharging for many buyers, which alone changes the ownership equation. You're not just avoiding gas stations, you're avoiding paying for electricity. Ever. One owner in California documented hitting 400,000 miles on their 2016 Model S 90D. The drivetrain? Original. The battery? Still delivering 88% of original capacity. That's not an outlier story. Owner forums are packed with similar experiences. 200,000, 250,000, 300,000 miles with nothing more than tires, brakes, and the occasional 12-volt battery replacement. The air suspension on these models does eventually fail, usually around 100,000 to 120,000 miles. It's expensive to replace, roughly $3,000 per corner. But here's what's wild. Owners pay for the repair and keep driving. They don't trade in, they don't switch brands. They fix it and add another 100,000 miles. Depreciation has flattened completely on well-maintained examples. A 2017 Model S 75D with 80,000 miles sells for roughly the same price as one with 120,000 miles. The market figured out these things just keep going. That math changes everything. 2. Chevrolet Bolt EV. Picture this. You bought a 2017 Bolt EV for $37,000. General Motors recalled every single battery pack and replaced yours with a brand new one in 2022, for free. You essentially got a refurbished vehicle at no cost, and now you're sitting on what's basically a 2022 powertrain in a 2017 body. This is actually thousands of Bolt owners' reality. The recall that terrified potential buyers became a gift for existing owners. They went from worrying about battery degradation to having zero concern because their battery is literally new with a fresh warranty. Mechanics love these things. There's nothing complicated to break. No air suspension, no fancy door mechanisms, no elaborate thermal management systems that fail at 80,000 miles. Just an electric motor, a battery pack, and basic car components. Simplicity means reliability, and reliability means owners don't have reasons to sell. Real-world range holds up shockingly well even on original battery packs that didn't get replaced. Owners with 150,000 miles report losing maybe 10 to 12% of original range. That's better than most laptops manage after 2 years. For a vehicle that costs pennies per mile to operate, that degradation barely registers as a concern. The used market proves the loyalty. Clean bolts with replaced batteries sell within days of listing. Sellers frequently get multiple offers over asking price. When buyers know a vehicle is trustworthy, they pay for that peace of mind. And here's where most people get burned. They assume Chevy reliability is questionable and miss out on one of the most dependable EVs ever built. SAN, Nissan Leaf, 2018 Plus. I can already hear the skeptics. The Leaf? With its battery degradation nightmare? Yeah, about that. You're thinking of the wrong generation. The 2018 and newer Leafs fixed the problem that haunted earlier models. Nissan finally added proper thermal management and updated the battery chemistry. The result? Battery degradation dropped from concerning to basically a non-issue for most owners. One thing separates Leaf owners from other EV owners. They genuinely don't care what other people think. They bought the dorky-looking electric car because it made financial sense, and years later, they're still driving it because nothing's broken. The humility required to buy a Leaf apparently correlates with the patience to keep driving it. Maintenance costs are absurd, as in absurdly low. Multiple owners document 5-year ownership with expenses under $500 total. Tires, wiper blades, cabin air filter, that's the list. Cabin air. No transmission services, no oil changes, no timing belts, no coolant flushes. Just boring, reliable transportation. The CHA charging problem matters way less than people claim. Yeah, it's not the standard everyone else uses. But there are still thousands of CHA chargers operating, and if you charge at home, which most Leaf owners do, you use public charging maybe once a month. This matters more than people realize. 4. Hyundai Kona Electric. A guy told me he bought a 2019 Kona Electric as a temporary vehicle while he waited for something better to hit the market. 4 years and 120,000 miles later, he's still waiting. Not because better options don't exist, but because he can't find a reason to switch. The Kona Electric launched without fanfare, got decent reviews, and then just quietly became one of the most reliable EVs available. No recall drama, no battery fires, no software nightmares. It showed up, did its job, and kept doing its job. Range degradation on these is minimal. Owners with 100,000 plus miles commonly report 92 to 95% battery capacity remaining. That's exceptional. For context, that means a 258-mile range drops to maybe 240 miles after 6 figures of driving. Most people wouldn't even notice. Hyundai's 10-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty means owners drive without that nagging anxiety about when the expensive repair bill arrives. The warranty isn't just good marketing. It's a legitimate safety net that keeps owners confident about racking up miles. You don't baby a vehicle when you know the manufacturer stands behind it. The 2024 redesign made these even better, but the 2019 to 2023 models are the ones with the longest ownership track records. And those track records are boring in the best possible way. Nothing breaks, range holds up, costs stay low. Owners keep driving because selling makes no financial sense. But that's not even the most interesting part about why these stay in families. Woo. Volkswagen e-Golf, 2015 to 2019. Most people have never heard of the e-Golf. The ones who own them, they guard them like family heirlooms. VW only sold about 35,000 e-Golfs in the US over 5 model years. It was never meant to be a volume seller, more of a compliance car that VW accidentally made really well. The result is this weird cult following of owners who bought an electric Golf and discovered it's basically bulletproof. The build quality is exceptional because it's built on the same platform as the regular Golf, which VW has been perfecting since the 1970s. Everything that's not the electric drivetrain benefits from decades of refinement. Doors close with that satisfying German thunk. Panel gaps are tight. Nothing rattles after 100,000 miles. Range is admittedly limited, 125 miles for 2015 to 2016 models, 201 miles for 2017 to 2019. But here's what owners figured out. That's plenty for a daily driver in a 2-car household. The e-Golf becomes the runabout vehicle that costs almost nothing to operate and never needs attention beyond tire rotations. Mechanics who work on these say they're shockingly easy to service compared to other EVs. Parts availability is good because it shares components with millions of regular Golfs. Insurance is reasonable because it's classified as a compact hatchback, not a performance EV. Everything about ownership is straightforward. Used values have stabilized rather than collapsed because supply is limited and demand from informed buyers remains steady. Clean examples sell quickly. Owners know what they have and they're not in a hurry to let go. That's what you're really paying for. 6. BMW i3. You know what makes this one special? It looks completely ridiculous and owners genuinely don't care. The i3 launched in 2014 looking like a concept car that accidentally made it to production. Carbon fiber body, rear-hinged back doors, an interior made partially from recycled materials and sustainably sourced wood. Everything about it screamed, "This will age poorly," except it didn't. Owner retention on the i3 is absurdly high for a BMW. These aren't people who trade cars every 3 years. They're drivers who found something that works, really works, and decided to keep it. The typical i3 owner has owned their car for 5+ years, which in the EV world might as well be forever. The carbon fiber body doesn't rust, ever. Traditional cars battle corrosion constantly, especially in salt states. The i3, the body panels literally can't corrode. That longevity changes the ownership equation completely. 20-year-old i3s will still have pristine bodies when conventional cars are rotting from the inside out. Range started at 81 miles for 2014 models and grew to 153 miles by 2019. The range extender models added a small gas engine as a generator, pushing total range over 200 miles. Either way, owners adapted their usage to the vehicle rather than constantly wishing they had more range. The driving dynamics are genuinely fun. Rear-wheel drive, instant torque, tight turning radius. It darts through traffic like a much smaller car. One owner described it as driving a high-tech go-kart to work every day. When driving stops being a chore and starts being enjoyable, you're less motivated to sell. 7. Tesla Model 3 long range, 2018 to 2020. Back in 2018, the Model 3 long range was the affordable Tesla everyone wanted. Dual motors, 310 miles of range, and that minimalist interior that either thrilled or horrified you depending on your taste. 300,000 people put down deposits. Most of them still own their cars. The durability proved doubters wrong. Critics predicted the build quality would fall apart. Early reviews hammered fit and finish issues. But owners who actually drove these daily discovered something. The important stuff doesn't break. Drivetrain, solid. Battery, holding capacity exceptionally well. Suspension, still tight at 150,000 miles. Real-world examples of Model 3s exceeding 300,000 miles are becoming common. One rideshare driver in Denver documented 400,000 miles with only one drive unit replacement. For context, most gas cars would need multiple engine rebuilds by that mileage. The Model 3 just keeps going. Free supercharging wasn't included for most buyers, but the charging infrastructure advantage keeps owners loyal. You can road trip a Model 3 anywhere in North America without anxiety. Try that with most other EVs and you're planning routes around Electrify America locations and praying they're working. Tesla's network just works. The 2018 to 2020 models specifically hit a sweet spot. They came before Tesla started removing features to cut costs, but after the company figured out initial production issues. These are the builds with radar-based autopilot, which many owners prefer over the vision-only system, and the interior build quality that's noticeably better than 2021 plus models. So which matters more for long-term ownership? Initial quality or proven reliability? The answer might surprise you. 8. Porsche Taycan. Here's the controversial take. The Taycan might be the most reliable EV Porsche has ever built, which is saying something for a brand known for bulletproof engineering. When the Taycan launched at $103,000, people questioned whether Porsche could build a reliable EV. The brand built its reputation on internal combustion excellence. Would that translate to electric? 3 years of ownership data suggests yes. Emphatically yes. Owner satisfaction scores for the Taycan are off the charts. But it's not just about loving the car, it's about trusting it. Porsche owners who previously traded vehicles every 2 to 3 years are keeping their Taycans. They're not bored. They're not worried about reliability issues down the road. They're just driving and enjoying. The 2-speed transmission was controversial at launch. Engineers debated whether EVs needed multi-speed gearboxes. Porsche insisted they did for their performance characteristics. Turns out they were right. The Taycan drives unlike any other EV, maintaining performance and efficiency across a wider speed range. And crucially, those transmissions aren't failing. Battery degradation is minimal according to early data. Owners with 60,000 to 80,000 miles report battery capacity in the 96 to 98% range. That's exceptional, especially considering how many owners regularly use the performance capabilities. Aggressive driving typically accelerates battery wear, but Porsche's thermal management is clearly working. The 800-volt architecture means charging is genuinely fast, 5% to 80% in 22.5 minutes. But it's the reliability of that charging system that impresses. It works consistently. No degraded charge curves. No software glitches stopping charging sessions. It just works every time. This matters more than people realize when you're making 100,000 plus decisions. 9. Audi e-tron, 2019 to 2022. Picture this. Audi's first dedicated EV launches in 2019, and automotive journalists predict reliability nightmares because German complexity plus electric equals disaster. Fast forward 5 years, and e-tron owners are smiling while everyone else deals with newer EVs having teething problems. The e-tron was over-engineered in the best Audi way. 3 motors available, sophisticated thermal management, and build quality that makes Tesla interiors look like they were assembled by distracted teenagers. Critics said it was too heavy, too complex, too expensive. Owners said it's too reliable to sell. Range is admittedly modest, 204 miles for early models, up to 222 miles for later versions. That's low by modern standards. But here's what owners discovered. The efficiency holds steady across all conditions. You're not getting 220 miles in summer and 140 in winter like some EVs. It's consistent, predictable, trustworthy. The air suspension hasn't been the reliability nightmare everyone predicted. Yes, air suspension typically fails around 80,000 to 100,000 miles on German vehicles. The e-trons, still working fine on early examples pushing 100,000 miles. Audi apparently learned from decades of air suspension problems and finally got it right. Owner forums are weirdly quiet, not because people aren't happy, but because nothing breaks that requires forum advice. The busiest threads are about software updates and which charging networks people prefer. When the biggest concern is charging logistics rather than mechanical failures, you've built something trustworthy. Used values prove the loyalty. Clean e-trons sell quickly and hold value better than expected. Dealers report buyers specifically seeking e-trons over newer EVs because of the proven reliability track record. The window might not stay open forever. 10. Ford F-150. Lightning, 2022 to 2023. I saved this one for last because it represents something that shouldn't be possible. A first-year domestic electric truck that people actually keep. First-year vehicles from Detroit have historically been rolling beta tests. Buyers expect problems. The F-150 Lightning launched in 2022, and Ford braced for the inevitable quality issues that come with completely new platforms, except they never really materialized. At least, not at the scale anyone expected. The Lightning borrowed heavily from the proven F-150 platform, which is the best-selling vehicle in America for good reason. It's durable as hell. Ford didn't reinvent the truck. They electrified it. That conservative approach means everything that's not the electric drivetrain benefits from decades of F-150 evolution. Towing range takes a hit. That's not a surprise. But the capability remains useful for real work. Owners who tow regularly report 100 to 120 miles of range when pulling 7,000 to 8,000 pounds. That's not road trip territory, but it's plenty for local contractors, farmers, and weekend warriors. The truck does truck things, electric or not. The Pro Power onboard system, where the truck becomes a mobile generator, created unexpected loyalty. Owners who lived through power outages powered their entire homes for days off the truck's battery. When your vehicle doubles as emergency backup power, you don't sell it on a whim. Battery replacements haven't been the nightmare some predicted. Early high-mileage examples are emerging, and battery health remains strong. One fleet owner documented 80,000 miles with 96% battery capacity remaining. That's exceptional for a heavy truck that works for a living. Lightning owners come from interesting backgrounds. Many traded in gas F-150s they'd owned for 200,000 plus miles. These aren't early adopters chasing trends. They're practical buyers who needed a truck and took a calculated risk on electric. The fact they're keeping their Lightnings speaks volumes about real-world durability. The loyalty isn't just about the truck. It's about what the truck represents. Ford proved you can build an electric vehicle that works like a traditional truck without compromise. No range anxiety excuses. No, but it's my first EV explanations when something breaks. Just a truck that hauls, tows, and powers your house when the grid fails. That builds the kind of loyalty where owners add miles instead of shopping for replacements. Here's what this list proves. EV reliability isn't about avoiding problems. It's about building vehicles owners trust enough to keep. The Model S and Model 3 show Tesla got it right before cost-cutting took over. The Bolt-in Leaf proves simplicity wins. The Kona Electric and e-Golf demonstrate that established manufacturers know how to build durable vehicles. Even expensive options like the Taycan, e-tron, and Lightning earn loyalty by just working reliably day after day, year after year. Which one would you keep past 200,000 miles? Drop a comment and let me know if you've seen other EVs with cult-like owner loyalty. Smash that subscribe button for more content about what actually matters in vehicle ownership. Not first impressions, but lasting impressions. And remember, the best EV isn't the one with the most features, it's the one you never want to sell. I'll see you in the next one.